Endgame bosses like Duke Fishron and Empress of Light are some of the hardest bosses in Terraria, dealing high amounts of damage and moving at light speed. They also drop some of the best loot in the whole game to set you up for Moonlord like the Fishron Wings, Razorblade Typhoon, Soaring Insignia, and Kaleidoscope. In today's video, I'm here to talk about one of the strongest and most underrated weapons in Endgame, the Elf Melter. I'm going to talk about why it's so good, when and what you should use it for, and then a brief guide on how to get it and any final thoughts. Leave a like for more content like this, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. First, what is the Elf Melter and why is it so good? It's a flamethrower style weapon similar to the regular flamethrower that can be crafted post Skeletron Prime, except it shoots blue flames instead of red, indicating it's more powerful since the blue part of a fire is the hottest. It also has a Christmassy look since it's dropped during the frost moon. There are three primary reasons why it's so good: easy obtainability, high damage, endless ammunition, and well, it also looks awesome. 4 reasons really. Firstly, like I said, it has easy obtainability, meaning it's easy to get. It's dropped 6 to 13% of the time in normal mode and 13 to 50% of the time in expert and master mode from the Santa NK1 boss. The reason that the drop chance varies so much is because higher waves give higher drop chances, plus may spawn more than one Santa NK1 at a time, almost guaranteeing that you'll get this drop. I'll talk more about how to get it later on in the video. For now, let's move on. Secondly, getting ammo for it is super easy. All it uses is gel, and by endgame you'll probably have stacks and stacks of gel left over, more than you'll ever need, especially if you use the ammo box and ammo reservation potion. Also, pink gel doesn't count, you'll need regular gel from regular slimes. If for some reason you're running low, just summon King Slime and farm his babies and him until you have enough. Thirdly, the Elf Melter deals very high damage. Even though it only does a base of 53, it has a fast use time and velocity. It also inflicts the frostbite effect, which is the hard mode and stronger version of Frostburn. It's stronger than Hellfire, Shadow Flame, and On Fire effects as well, dealing a quick and consistent 10 damage for 20 seconds even after you stop shooting. On top of all of this, the Elf Melter also has 15 armor penetration, meaning that it ignores 15 of the enemy or boss's defense, similar to how Ichor reduces an enemy's defense by half. Reforge the Elf Melter and pair this all up with a bunch of awesome ranger accessories, the Shroomite armor and potions, and you'll be unstoppable. For a 60-second short on the 4 accessories to maximize ranger damage, check out the link in the description of this video. Do all this and you'll be shutting down everything in your path like a pyromaniac. Lastly, and obviously the most important reason here, the Elf Melter looks awesome. Like, who doesn't love Christmas? This is a red, white, and green Christmas themed gun that sprays out a massive pillar of bright blue fire. It kinda reminds me of Azula's bright blue fire from Avatar. If you didn't notice, you also get a red gas tank backpack while using the weapon, which I think makes it look even more amazing. Just another reason after the first 3 for why you gotta use this gun more endgame. Okay, now that I've talked about why it's so good, when should you actually use it? The beauty of this weapon is that it's amazing single and multi-target. Any invasion type battles with many enemies like the Martian, Solar Eclipse, Old One's Army, Pumpkin Moon, and even pillar fights can be crushed by the Elf Melter. Yes, celestial beings can be destroyed by a literal melter of elves. The infinite piercing, frostbite, high armor penetration, and speed will take care of all the enemies in no time. For bosses, I'd recommend the Elf Melter against Duke Fishron but not Empress of Light, since the gun's range isn't far enough to reach her in most of the time, making it ineffective. Duke Fishron on the other hand usually stays relatively close to the player because of how fast he moves and how much quick dashing and dodging he requires. Duke Fishron also has 50 defense, so if you pair the Elf Melter with an Ichor weapon like the Golden Shower, you'll bring his defense down from 50 to 10, a massive 80% decrease. Plus, he's immune to Frostburn but not Frostbite, meaning you'll also get that extra quick and consistent 10 damage on top of everything else I just talked about. Now that you know why the Elf Melter is amazing, here's a brief guide on how to get it. Summon the Frost Moon at 7:30 PM using the Naughty Present, crafted with 5 Souls of Fright, 5 Ectoplasm, and 20 Silk. Craft one of the 4 endgame armors, or if you're a melee, you can also choose to use the special all-powerful melee build I talked about a few videos ago, granting a total of 170% increased damage and more. I linked the video on both of these topics down in the description below. Next, assuming you haven't beaten Duke Fishron or Empress of Light yet, I would recommend using the Influx Waver, Seedler or Terrorblade for melee, Electrosphere Launcher or Phantom Phoenix for rangers, Spectre or Shadow Beam Staff for mages, and Xeno, Tempest, and Frost Hydra Staff for summoners. The Santa NK1 drops the Elf Melter 6 to 13% of the time in normal mode and 13 to 50% of the time in expert and master mode, and the chance of it being dropped increases as the waves go on. Remember, you don't even need to fight the other enemies until you defeat the Santa NK1, so focus solely on him until you've defeated him to maximize your chances of getting the Elf Melter. He starts spawning on wave 7 and onwards, and as you get closer to the end of the event, wave 20, the chances of you getting the Elf Melter are very high. And that's it. In this video, I covered why I think the Elf Melter is so good, because of its easy obtainability, easy to farm ammo, high damage and special effects like frostbite and armor penetration, and cool looks. I also covered when I recommend using it during group fish run and endgame invasion fights. And I also did a brief Frost Moon overview which I hope helps guide some of you guys. I love and consistently use the Elf Melter, and I think that you guys have good reason to as well. What do you think about the Elf Melter? Is it worth it, or is it beaten by other better weapons at the same stage of the game? I hope you enjoyed this video and make sure to leave a like for more content like this. Till next time homies, peace.